American Horror Story, Longmire, The Night Shift, From Dusk Till Dawn, the series. She's been in a few of these things that are going on. It's about all that and some X-Files stuff next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
You guys know this song, this theme, from a show that was in the 90s and came back. It was great, and might come back again, I heard.
Yeah, it better, because I'm not done. I'm telling you, I'm not done.
They're claiming there might be some talks and stuff. Hi, welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV Spotlight On. I am your host, James Lott Jr., and we're a program where we take someone, we spotlight their career, and it's gonna be a fun one today. And she is someone who's been on several shows that I've seen, of course. She's currently on FX's series that just came back last night. FX's American Horror Story 6, because it's an anthology series, so it looks really scary, as like the other ones do. She plays Nurse Bridget on that. She's also been on, like I said, on shows like Longmire, which my mother loved that show actually very much on that one. She's in the upcoming film The Space Between Us, which I'm excited to see that movie. It looks so interesting in that one. She's also a producer, actress. She's worked in film production too. You did some background stuff. You done behind the camera.
Yes, sir, I did.
You done behind the camera. So we're gonna sit and we're gonna dig in. And we're going to talk to Kristen Rakes. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, nice to meet you and everything.
Lovely to meet you.
Yes, okay, so yeah, well, before I even get into some of your work, you've done behind the scenes work. I mean, you did some work while you were in Arizona or New Mexico. New Mexico.
Yeah.
So you learned some camera stuff, lighting, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I went to school for filmmaking.
Oh, wow.
And then right after that, I jumped into production. I worked on Employee of the Month, which was a Danville movie.
Yeah.
And I was in product placement on that. And then I kind of fell into the art department. And shortly after that, I ended up as an actor's assistant on No Country for Old Men.
Oh, so, wow. Some good productions.
Yeah, I got to watch, one of the great movies of all time being made, and that was pretty legit.
Yes. So, I mean, being behind the scenes, has that taught you how to be a more well-rounded actor now because you know how things come together?
Well, I like to think so. I hope so it definitely makes me appreciate everything going on set a lot more, and the great job that everybody's doing because I know because I've done a lot of those jobs.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And really appreciating everything that they're doing because so many of those people don't get thanked, and that's just wrong.
I'm sure. It's a hard job.
Yes.
I've worked on sets and crews. I mean, they're there before you get there. They're there after you leave.
And nothing lets up for them.
Yeah.
I mean, as actors, we're in charge of having the right emotions at the right time, but they're in charge of just going nonstop and having all these things going on in their heads and making sure the next thing is done and the next thing is done, and it's really difficult. Yeah,
I'm sure. It makes you probably a good producer or director probably because now you know in front of the camera, behind the camera. I'm sure it would help you in that direction.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like what's that, Undercover Boss?
Yes,
I mean, I'm not the boss, but like yet.
You're a boss. She's a boss.
Thank you.
Yes, exactly.
But it's like I think any company runs better when everybody knows what every job requires.
I agree.
And I feel really fortunate that I've gotten to do that because there's kind of this. It holds you to a higher standard when you're on set, and like this isn't just time for you to goof around.
Got it. Yes.
And I don't know if. I don't know. It's just an interesting thing. I'm
sure. Were there any of those back jobs that you really liked? You're like, okay, I kind of like this. I kind of like doing art, or I like being art, or I like kind of lighting, or is there anything that you kind of liked?
I liked art department.
Yeah,
it's a really chill place. You get to be creative. I had a great boss that I worked for named Rosario. Rosario, shout out.
Yes.
And we just got along really well, and it's a funny way to affect what ends up in the movie, and it's something that I really appreciate when I'm watching other films.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, so you guys, we want to do the show the American Horror Story, which started last week. We're going to show a clip of the trailer. You got to be on it. It opened last night, and I have a question I always want to ask someone that I never have asked. And you'll be the first time I ask this. So we're going to have our wonderful man Zach pull it up, and we're going to show part of this trailer that happened. Okay, no problem. For our podcast listeners, we're setting up the actual trailer to show that. But I mean, this is a hit show. This is already a show. I mean, 6 seasons, It's Ryan Murphy.
It's Ryan Murphy.
It's Ryan Murphy. I mean, I don't
Enough said.
not even say anymore. It's Ryan Murphy.
Yeah.
Did he cast you? Was he part of the casting when you came in?
I assume so. He's kind of like the man behind that. What's that called? The Wizard of Oz.
But yeah, man behind the curtain.
Yeah, the curtain.
Yes.
I was like, the man behind the bar.
I don't think that's something
what
different.
What is he behind?
Behind the bar is something different. Yes, that's me on some Fridays. But yes, it's
okay.
but no, it's he's the man behind the curtain. I'm sure he overlords everything. I'm sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I was such a huge fan of American Crime Story, the OJ. I loved it, and Glee. So like getting to join this world was just crazy to me.
I mean, it's Ryan Murphy.
It's Ryan Murphy.
I'm like, nip tuck. I mean, it's Ryan Murphy. I mean, it's just like, it's good. Okay, so I'm going to show you some clip of this. It's crazy. You'll see, she's fast, but you won't see, but I just want to show you overall kind of trailer of this new series.
Show yourself! Caesar! No!
Coming up on my Roanoke nightmare.
Human sacrifice. They were practicing devil worship.
I knew then we had to leave. When I saw my sister with Flora, I realized we had much bigger problems on our hands.
Technically, this is kidnapping.
I have a right to see you.
You have a custody agreement.
Matt!
Do you see her?
I didn't think it could get any worse than it did.
Something here in the woods, in that house, intends to kill me.
Sorry, to talk? Oh, okay. So this looks really interesting. This looks a lot of fun. It's the same people from the last 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah.
And you get to play Nurse Bridget in it.
Yes.
And so how much, I mean, this is amazing when you got the call that you actually got the part. When you said, they go, you have the part, you're going to be on American Horror Story. Was that?
I definitely started shaking.
Yeah.
I just was so, you go in and it's always like, who knows if this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I went in, did the thing, had the audition, and then, like a week later, got the call and was just like, what?
Yeah.
I wasn't actually expecting anything to come from that.
Yeah.
So it was like such an amazing feeling.
Well, here's the question I want to ask, and I've never had a chance to ask to somebody. Compare, you get these jobs that are, some of them are for smaller productions, some of them are for shows that are new and not proven out yet. When you get a call, you're going to be on a show that's a hit. Is there a big difference?
Yes and no. I mean, this was definitely beyond my wildest dreams.
Yeah.
But there's kind of different reasons that you get attached to things, and sometimes it can be just the actual role that you're playing.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was really excited about this and everything that was going on with it, but also because I had so much fun with the role. So it was like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
I get really, there's been, independent things that I've done that were smaller level that just I was really attached to whoever the character was that I was really excited about.
Yeah. Because I just feel like this is something that's already established. More eyes can be put on you because, well, I mean, it always says, one set of eyes, it doesn't matter what you do, there's no small parts or anything like that.
Right.
But I was thinking something like this where it's a guaranteed, it's going to be like 4 or 5 million watching this or more.
Yeah.
That you'll be seen more. I mean, kind of like exciting, kind of like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, and the funny thing about this too is that we didn't know when I went in. The script that they give you is like a dummy script.
Oh, really? Okay.
So you don't know anything. I don't know. I still don't know anything about this whole thing. I really don't. People ask me, and I'm like,
you're like, I can't say anything.
There's a conspiracy of misinformation on this show that I love, and I am happy to just leave things.
Yes, exactly.
So, originally, what I read for was just a single person, and then I went in for the fitting, and lo and behold, this other person shows up, who's Maya, who's my sister, and we're just kind of sitting there looking at each other like, finally I go, how tall are you? And she goes, 5'10", and I was like, me too. I think we see what's going on here, because we just didn't have any idea about each other. So when it came out that we were, going to be doing this together, to me, that just seemed that much more memorable, and we were both really excited about that.
No, I'm sure. So you really don't know what's going to happen. I
don't.
That's kind of exciting. You actually watch like a fan, too.
Yes, and that was something that was really important to me. It's almost like sometimes I'll keep that level of unconsciousness.
Okay, I like that. I what you mean. Okay.
About a project, because I want to be a fan about it, too.
Yeah.
And this, I didn't have an option. They just don't tell us anything.
Yeah, they don't tell you. So how does that inform you getting into your character?
Well,
is it moment to moment? This way you just stay present in moment to moment?
Yeah, you just kind of have to. You can make guesses. She and I went for a long walk and sort of discuss things
Okay.
before we shot.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, kind of where we thought we were coming from. And
Yeah. Wow. It's good. Like, it's one of those things where you'll know beginning and middle and almost end, so you can kind of plan out how you want to.
Yeah.
You can do a backstory, you can do all this stuff. But I guess in this, it's like, these are the scripts I know I'm sure are highly coveted. I mean,
Yes.
you don't want anybody to see anything.
yes, we don't get them till the day of. Yeah.
So you gotta know how to act. You gotta know how to memorize.
It's on the, you know, you got to be on the ball, and which is kind of it's fun to be on your toes like that, and spontaneity sometimes brings, you know, a different performance that you wouldn't normally get. So I think it's really fun.
Yeah, we have fun. It's like it keeps you on your toes. I mean, you've been acting for a while, so this is something that's a little different.
Yeah.
It keeps you moving. It's
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
very cool. Well, I mean, the show is, it's probably gonna be another proven hit, I'm sure. It's people are talking about it already.
Well, the funny thing about American Horror Story that I've seen just from reading different things is like everybody has their favorite seasons,
Yes, they
and
do.
everybody has their hated seasons.
Yes.
And so and it's very
Yes.
there's no way to predict it. Like I absolutely love Freak Show.
Yes.
I thought
That was a good one. I saw
my
that one.
favorite.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, and some people love it and some people don't.
Yeah.
I feel like Hotel seems like the most highly contested season.
Yes, I hear it all the time too. And I didn't watch the full season. I watched part of it. It was okay. It wasn't bad to me at all. I think it was bad, but people just have a very visceral reaction to it.
Yes, they do.
They do. And it's funny because apparently, you know, every season's connected.
Yes.
They're all connected. So
Which that's, to me, honestly, that's one of the funnest parts of watching the show.
Yeah.
Like I loved Lost, and part of the reason was because of the connections and you go into backstories and all that stuff. I love that. So anytime that happens in American Horror Story, I'm like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah, they give you something to go, oh my God.
Yeah.
It did. Well, Freak Show did it several times with Freak Show. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, loved it.
So folks, you don't know the season, watch it. It's good.
It's good.
Even though they're kind of self-contained, but they're not. That's the best way I can put it, I guess.
Yeah.
You can watch each one on its own.
Yes.
You get a beginning, middle, and an end. You get a story, but then there's also
And just it's so fun watching those actors take on different roles each season.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
It's like the old days, like doing repertory theater, where it's like accompanying actors who do different productions.
Yeah.
And you get a chance to be different characters. And it's so good. I mean, you saw there was Kathy Bates, there's Angela Bassett, these are actors that know how to act.
Yes.
They're Oscar-nominated, Oscar winner.
Yeah. And that's something that when you show up to that, it's like that day it was like, okay, I gotta not think about who these people are.
Yeah, I'm
because
sure.
Holy cow.
Oh my God, I'm sure. Do you feel like you get in the room, you just feel it, you're like, oh my God, there's Kathy, oh my God, there's Angela, oh my God, God, it must be amazing. It just must be amazing.
Absolutely.
And how blessed you are I get to do that, actually.
It's ridiculous. I still don't, I'm like, did that happen? How on earth did that happen? I don't get it.
It's just, I mean, they make fun of actors and stuff. It's like, oh, your life is hard. But I mean, it is a hard business. And you're one of thousands of actresses who could have been in that role.
Right.
They chose you.
Right. And that's really mind-boggling.
Mm-hmm. And good choice, of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
But it's just like, oh my God, you guys, it's so lucky. You have a beautiful, when I saw the trailer for this, beautifully filmed, The Garden.
You know who filmed that?
Who did?
My husband.
Wow, he did a great, it's gorgeously filmed. We're going to show part of that trailer. It's a beautifully, so I was looking at it, wow, it's so like ethereal and evokes emotion just watching the trailer.
That's good. That's what we want.
Because you're like, what's going on? Like,
Well,
what's going on? What's going on there? What's going on there? Can you explain The Garden?
The Garden is, it's kind of a story of a woman's exploration into what love is, kind of being dissatisfied in life and what she really wants, basically.
Yeah. And it's a story. Now, did you come across a story with somebody or a story you wrote? Or, I mean, who's
Our
involved?
director, David Ferry Jr. and I, we had this, we used to work together and had a lot of similar interests. And I feel like this started on a flight back from Seattle. We were on a work trip and we just talked the whole way back. I think it's something that was rolling around in his head for a while. And so I really give him a lot of credit for telling a woman's story and being open to that and doing it in a way. And he allowed me to have a lot of input, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. And just being open to doing that and doing it with a lot of sensitivity. Obviously, when you watch it, it's very Terrence Malick-y. We all love Terrence Malick. I think Tree of Life came out sometime in the middle, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And very much informed what we were doing and the emotions that we wanted to try to get across.
Yeah, it's one of it's I mean it's nowadays people are creating their own work.
Yes.
Which is I'm talking about people who are doing that. They're saying do that now. It's even sometimes even better than having your own reel because you can say I did this is what I did.
Yeah.
You can see my acting in it and my writing and what's going on in there. How hard was this to do this?
Really hard, but mostly the hardest thing. I mean, I didn't have the onus on me of like the writing and directing and keeping it all. I mean, this took us 3 or 4 years to shoot at least, and we'd go back and reshoot things, and he had it all in his head, and I give him mad props for that. Yeah. And then my husband basically wore a Steadicam the entire time.
Wow.
And he basically learned how to do that on that movie. Wow. So they both had like these extreme stresses of different kinds on them, and then I just had to walk around in the woods barefoot and cold.
Was it cold?
Yes.
Okay, so let's show that trailer, and then 'cause I want to ask you where did you film this?
We filmed in.
Where's the woods part?
Most of that would be near Portland.
Oh, up there, okay.
Yeah, and then really also in New Mexico.
Okay, so it's really pretty up there. Yeah, that's beautiful. Did you just get permits and everything to do that, or could you just go in there and just do it yourself? I always wonder that. Because it's beautifully the way it's shot. Look at that.
Yeah, and this is actually an old trailer. I don't know how much of this is still in there.
Let's give people a sense of what's going on. But it makes you think, what's going on? Like, why is she doing that?
That is what we dream about.
Look at me. Look at it's filmed. It's just beautiful. And it's a woman's story.
That's in London.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You guys went everywhere.
Well, we were just on vacation.
Wow.
My husband likes to just shoot stuff all the time.
That's kind of cool, though, actually.
Yeah.
Why not? I just love the lighting and the silhouettes.
Yeah, I actually love this stuff.
It's just so pretty. I want to go there.
Some of it's Durango, also.
Oh, really?
Which I highly recommend. That I think is Durango. Protection.
And the music and everything, it's just so good.
Providing.
And all the actors, everybody matches, like everybody just kind of fits.
Well, we hope so.
Yes.
We'd like to think so.
So, I mean, this took, you said 4 years?
Yeah, at least.
Wow. Well, actually, it's filmmaking. Sometimes it takes 10 years sometimes, 20 years.
Yeah, when Boyhood came out, we were like, yeah, we get that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, Boyhood.
We totally understand this process.
Yes, definitely. Really. So, you guys hired all the costumers. It's all you? Just all you guys doing it yourselves?
No,
pretty dressed.
We had some people just volunteer that really believed in the project. Cool. We ended up getting an amazing costumer who, I don't think any of her stuff is in this particular trailer, but the stuff that she pulled off, I'm still like, whoa.
Yeah. That's just beautiful. Filmmaking is not easy, folks. And that's what I'm saying. It's just that when people who do it, I'm very, impressed with people who do that. Because it's like you said, sometimes things get 10, 12, 20 years in process. In 4 years, okay, that's 4 years. I mean, it goes by kind of fast in a weird way.
Yeah, and this is actually almost complete. We're just finishing up the score, and then it will be actually done.
Wow.
Yeah.
How exciting.
Yeah.
You're about to give birth.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I feel. These are your children. You're gestating them, and then you're about to give them out to the world.
Yeah, and it's just going to be really exciting. The story is so important to me, and I'm just really excited for people to. I just want it to touch people. Yeah. We didn't make this to make money. We're not going to. Yeah. So, but I really want people to bring some new kind of knowledge to their lives.
Yeah, I think some things are good that are just good to put out.
Yes.
And everything is money makers. Everything is, the dollar is very driven here in Hollywood, obviously. Yes. But there's so many projects that you want to just make a better place.
Yes, a better place. I like that.
Like, why not?
I want to make a better place.
Yeah. We're doing art, and art does heal, art does,
yes, it does.
Art does excite, art does inspire, art does all that stuff.
Yes, it does.
So why not? Just sometimes put stuff out where it's not just money driven. I want to do something, I want to make $20 million opening, like that's not what it's all about all the time.
No. It's not. And I really feel like there's kind of been a movement toward that. While there's simultaneously been, a lot of franchises and people get down on that. Mm-hmm. I will say I like franchises because when you're in love with those characters, you want to keep watching them.
That's
so
true.
I'm not down on that.
Yeah.
But I think there's been another swing toward, all these indie, projects that are really trying to be the art form.
Yeah.
And I think that's really great. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, no, it actually is. And right now, you're at the right timing because people are taking their iPhones and making movies, and people are using, you know, all these different things now. You can actually, the interwebs are filled with ways to post things.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't have made this movie without massive technological advances.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't using expensive cameras at all, and we actually switched cameras like 3 or 4 times throughout this because the technology kept advancing. And my husband likes to buy cameras.
yeah.
He does.
He has a camera fetish.
A little bit.
Yeah, my mother does too. She's one of those kind of things. But no, but you're right. Technology does advance so much that you kind of want to make sure it looks good.
Yes.
So you keep up with it.
Yes.
You're with it. That's very exciting. Like I said, it looked beautiful when I saw it, and I was like, I'm very excited to see it when it comes out. It's really, really good. Are you guys gonna try to do the festival circuit or anything?
We'd like to. I mean, I think that's really
tough,
where it's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
I think that's where it belongs.
Yeah, I do too.
But you know, if that doesn't work out, just releasing it wide somehow on the internet.
Yeah, VOD, everything. That stuff's all the time.
I mean, like I said, we're really all just committed to people seeing it.
Yeah.
Making some money back on it would be nice, but we didn't put a lot of money into it.
Good.
So, and that's very freeing.
That is freeing.
Because we don't have to demand anything back.
That's true. You can. It's like you just put it out there for everybody to look at and just go and really enjoy the process of having it being released.
Yeah.
Without worrying about, oh my God, it only did this time, only 8,000 downloads on iTunes. And you don't have to worry about that now.
Oh my gosh, we got 8,000 downloads on iTunes. I would be so excited.
I don't put the number. I'm like, actually, it's a good number. But the point is, I mean, if you,
There are like 12 million downloads on iTunes. Oh darn.
But you know what I mean.
I know
it's just one of those things that you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about that. So any downloads you get will be like the icing on the cake, so to speak.
Yes.
So people are actually taking the time to look at it.
Yes.
Because that's all we want from our work. Is really to look at our work.
Yes.
And enjoy it and go, that helped my day today, or that helped my moment today.
Absolutely, and possibly change your perspective for the better. That's everything.
I like that. A movie you're doing is The Space Between Us.
Yes.
Gary Oldman's in that for sure, of course, and Asia Butterfield and all that. And I saw the trailer when I went to see Sully, which I love Sully, but the trailer looks really good. I was like, what movie is this? I'm a sucker for science fiction. I'm a sucker for, but I'm a sucker. I mean, let me clarify that. I'm a sucker for science fiction that has a human element in it.
Yes, absolutely. It has to. I mean, I think the interesting thing about science fiction is it's the opportunity to look into the future and see what we're going to do with ourselves and the things that we should avoid. And that's why science fiction is fantastic.
I agree.
And like, did you watch Black Mirror?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
That show really freaked me out. Talk about the human element, though.
Yes. The human element was completely there.
It's all about that.
Yeah,
it's all about how is technology and whatever going to affect us in the future.
Yeah.
We need to be thinking about these things. I think it's an incredibly important genre.
Well, because we advance, like we just said, we advance so fast technology-wise, we haven't caught up.
What are the ramifications?
Emotionally.
Yeah, for our emotions.
Yes.
Yes,
we haven't caught up. We haven't caught up yet. I mean, I was thinking the phones and everybody, and it's like we haven't even caught up to like what all that means now, socially, emotionally, like what that means. Everybody's on their phones now. No one's talking in person anymore. I remember having to wait to go to my answering machine and listen to a message and wait for a call. Like that doesn't happen anymore now at this point. I mean, I'm saying, like, who do I talk to on the phone? Not that often. Hardly anybody. Now by text.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, we don't even know what it's going to feel like later until later.
Right.
So science fiction is a good mirror.
It's those visionary people that can look ahead and say, this is probably not a good idea.
Yeah. I agree with you on that one. We're gonna show a little bit of the trailer of Space Between Us because it's a long trailer. So we're gonna show a little bit of that. Give you people a piece of what's going on.
This is a planet ready for life. In 20 hours, 6 astronauts will travel to Mars.
It's always Mars.
Yeah, what is it about what if we want to go to Mercury? Why isn't anybody checking that out?
Or Saturn. Go to Saturn.
Saturn?
It has the rings.
That's got to be cool when you're standing on Saturn. Can you stand?
Sure.
Or is it gaseous?
Maybe it's gaseous. I'm not sure. I don't know my astronomy as well anymore. But this is an interesting concept. A baby born in Mars and only knows Mars. What a trip.
Yeah, it's a great concept.
Great concept.
Very original.
Very original. I want to come back to Earth and see what's going on. So, but I just want to show part of this trailer because I just want to show people this is a movie that's coming out in December, I believe, and it just looks really, really good. And so, and you said you play a maid in the film.
I'm Gary Oldman's maid.
So you play one of the main lead characters.
No.
Maybe I meant with lead characters. What I meant to say.
Yes.
You're like main character.
Assistant to
she
the
saves
regional
the day.
manager.
She saves the day. Watch the film, saves the
Hey,
day.
if he didn't have me, he would have no laundry.
Exactly. House be dirty.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's very important.
Thank you.
We get to work with Gary Oldman, so let's talk about that.
Gary Oldman.
I mean, film legend. I mean, he's been around for a long time.
Absolutely. And he's just so whimsical.
But he plays, over the years, he's played so many different kinds of quirky parts.
Yes.
So
It
it's
fits
kind
his day to day.
It does.
Even on set, there was a piano, and he went and just sang and played the piano, and I was like,
wow.
just one of those people that is so tuned in artistically that I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do any of that.
Wow.
Really cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. I see. Again, you're blessed again over somebody who has a legacy of work.
Absolutely.
That's
Quite
just
a
great.
legacy.
Yes. I mean, you worked with some great people.
Yeah.
On some great sets.
I don't understand that.
No, because as somebody who's moving up through the ranks and kind of doing your stuff. That makes sense. There's thousands of us running around out there doing the same thing.
Right.
And you look at it, and as I'm sitting here with you, kind of going over your career a little bit, it must be interesting to think about that. Like, I worked with some really great people on some great sets.
Yeah, I totally forgot until the other day. I was looking at some of my stuff and that I spent a whole day with Matthew Broderick.
Oh my God.
And what an interesting person.
Yeah. I'm sure.
He's fantastic.
He's been around since he was a teenager.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Broadway mostly, but he's done. I mean, he was a film star. I mean, he did all kinds of stuff back in the day.
Yeah, it's somebody who's just been all over the place and just so cool. And
wow, what'd you guys do? How'd you hang out all day together?
Well, I did a movie with him.
Okay, so I was like, we're just hanging out, just like
we had this awkward conversation about potatoes.
Okay.
That was Neil LaBute's movie too.
Oh, okay.
Which, hello.
Yeah, another person that's like a legend and quirky and all these things.
Oh my gosh, and he was just wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your career is like great. It's amazing.
I guess so.
Well, I mean, okay, we're talking about people and manifestations and stuff. Is there anybody you would like to work with?
Yes. Brad Pitt, I'm talking to you.
That's right. We on my shows, I always say you gotta say it out loud. Closed mouth does not get fed. Say it out loud. I want to work with Oprah. No. So
Yes.
Brad Pitt.
He's at the top of my list. I have so many.
Yeah. What's it about Brad? I mean, he's a good actor and all that, but what is it about?
The thing I love about Brad is that just no matter what he's doing, there's always this weird vulnerability. Like in Moneyball, it's just it's so fantastic because he's Brad Pitt. You think he's got it all together, always, doing his thing, but there's just always those moments. Somehow he's able to pull it out of just that. There's that thing behind his eyes that you can see, and I love it.
That's how I feel about Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's a very, he's a star, but I still think in some ways he's underrated in some ways. He's a really good actor.
Well, it's like some people they just have access to whatever that thing is.
Yeah. They have it.
Yeah.
They can go in and tune. They can tune into it, and it's like they are these huge stars. Brad Pitt's a huge star, but every role, like Benjamin Button and this over here, he tunes it in, and you're like, oh, he's really good at what he does.
Yeah, Jesse James was definitely my favorite of his.
Yeah.
But we just watched Seven the other day, and it's so funny to watch somebody's career.
Wow.
That's an amazing film, and so he plays this like young punk cop who comes in. But there's still so much it's right there, that kind of like just self-consciousness right behind his eyes, which you wouldn't think.
Yeah.
And it's just great.
Well, folks out there, if you don't know this, a little fun fact, Brad Pitt starred on Dallas. That's the TV show Dallas as Charlie's boyfriend. Priscilla Presley's character's daughter's boyfriend.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he did. You go back and you find episodes. He played this little ne'er-do-well kind of, Texan boy. And
a ne'er-do-well.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep, very much him, and he was good on it. And I remember watching it. And I remember seeing him on like Seven and Fight Club. And wait a minute, he looks familiar from what?
That guy.
That was that guy.
Yeah.
From I was a big Dallas fan. So
that's great, and I love what he tries to do in the world, and I love Angelina also.
Yeah.
And everything that they try to. I just feel like they're so dedicated to good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And here's the thing about them: they've been dedicated for so long.
Yeah.
This isn't a fly-by-night operation.
No.
They've been doing it for a long time. There's always these rumors they're gonna break up, whatever. I think at this point they're probably not because they've just been together. They've been together for so long. They seem so dedicated and united to me. They seem united to me. I don't see anything
I
going
hope
on.
so.
I
I
hope
would
so,
be
too.
very sad.
Yeah, me too. I know, me too.
It would be a bad day. I
Yeah.
would just have to stay at home.
Eat ice cream and stay in your pajamas.
I thought that was real.
Yes, because they do really come across. They're passionate about their projects. They're
Yes.
passionate about their kids, and they're just passionate about the world at large. And I just kind of admire that. But,
Absolutely.
Yeah, but Brad Pitt's a good choice.
Thank
so
you.
I want to have her come back on my show saying she did a movie with Brad Pitt.
Let's talk about Brad.
Well, Brad. Let's get it going. The last little clip I want to show is something that you and I have a love of, and that is the X-Files.
Yes.
So it's funny that we didn't really realize this until now, but I was going to show this clip that you did, and it's called The Princess and the Musician X-File clip, so let's go there.
You know what? I don't believe you.
So now who is he?
That's Alejandro Montoya Marin.
Okay.
You are talking to one of the biggest X-File fans of all time.
Try me.
Okay.
This is very much like what friends would do.
Yes.
I got one. I'm an annoyance to my superiors, a joke to my peers.
You know, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready. I love it.
They call me Spooky. Spooky Mulder. Your sister was abducted by aliens when he was just a kid. And now he chases after little green men with a badge and a
He's
gun,
smiling, too.
shouting
I
to
love
the
it.
heavens and anyone who
smiling.
will listen that the fix is in. The sky is falling. And when it does, it's gonna be the shitstorm of all time.
You know, it's funny when he wrote. Alejandro's like a very dear friend of mine.
Okay.
We've done so many
You can tell
projects
like your
together.
friend. Like your friends. Like you guys.
He's
You know.
Alejandro's gonna blow up. He's just
Oh, good.
he's amazing.
Say his name again one more time. What's his name again?
Alejandro Montoya Marin.
Okay, we're gonna look out for that.
Definitely, you will hear about him.
Perfect.
And when he originally wrote the script, he wrote it because he knows that I'm a huge
Your
X-Files
friends,
fan.
obviously, yeah, you would know that by.
So
no.
he's like, well, if she's gonna quote something, it's gonna be that.
Yeah.
So he wrote it, and I was like, this actually isn't right. The speech isn't right. So I went back and rewrote it because I was like, that's not what he says.
Okay, good girl. That's right. Hello. That's why you're here.
Yes.
I love that. It's like so, okay. So we were talking this. We're going to talk this a little bit because we can because get to know her a little bit. She loves X-Files like I do. And so did you? So how did you feel about the revival, the new kind of mini series or whatever it was?
Whenever they announce things like that about the X-Files, I have a certain friend and I that we go out and have drinks. It can be anything from when they did the second movie.
Oh, yes, right.
To we're thinking about it. David Duchovny looked at a script today. Like we go out and have drinks.
Yeah, there's
So
always
this
some kind of
was-
thing in the press, like it has
Yeah,
to be in the
yeah,
press, yeah.
and that's how they keep our love going. But it was so horribly exciting
Yeah.
to me.
Chris Carter.
Yes, yes. And the second episode was my favorite.
Mine too.
Absolutely.
We were saying it earlier, yeah.
And that was Founder's Mutation. And they just addressed so many things that we've been wondering for
Yes.
such a long time. And I think my favorite thing, you know, and I have friends that like, one time we were like, we're just gonna sit down for like 7 days and watch everything, and we're gonna get a dry erase board, and we're gonna write
funny.
everything out
Oh, how
and try to
funny.
figure out everything that's going on.
Oh my God.
Because that's what's great about the show is like
Yeah.
I'm still wondering about these things years
Oh yeah, there's
later.
still stuff. Yeah, there's still stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, there's still stuff.
Yeah.
And so when that came out, it was like they answered certain things, especially
Mm-hmm.
in that episode. That was just like, I've been wondering about this for
Yes.
so long.
Yeah, they did.
And then they didn't answer a bunch of other things, which
Yeah,
is
of
why we
course.
love it.
Yes.
It's like that
It
sadistic.
kind of left on a cliffhanger-esque.
Oh yeah.
kinda,
Forget it. You can't. I'm sorry. We're not done.
Yeah, we're not done.
We are not done.
I've heard rumors. They might do it again.
We are not done. I'm telling
Trust
you.
no one. I've been waiting to say that.
But it was so fun. I think the best moment was just, you know, after years of musing about all these things, like hearing that theme again, and the first episode, and knowing I'm going to get new information was like such a rush to me.
I will agree with you. My mother and I watched the first episode together. We got together and we said we're going to do it, and because she was a fan also. And it was, hearing that theme song made us giddy.
It did, yes.
I mean, that's the only word I can think about. It was giddy.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
It was like, oh my God, this is really happening. Like, this is really happening.
Like my dreams.
Right.
When Arrested Development came back and said
Oh,
that they
yes.
were, I was in Midway Airport, and I just I don't know how I found out, and I was just like, I need to like get on the PA and tell everyone. And so when X-Files came back, it was like even more.
Yeah.
So
It's just very much like, you're right. It's just like, back in the 90s again. Oh my God, I love it.
so
but
great.
with the theme song, you're right. It's a theme song because that's such a recognizable. We played it at the top of the show. It's a recognizable song.
Yeah.
That's so associated. Well, just like Dallas. I was mentioning Dallas. Their theme song is a big one too. Like certain theme songs evoke an emotion.
Yes.
And that one.
Unsolved Mysteries, everybody.
Unsolved Mysteries.
You're welcome.
Oh my God, another one. I love
You're
it.
all
That's
gonna have
right.
bad dreams now.
I love it. But there is something about theme songs that actually can bring you back to the series. And so you watched the whole original series. You saw all the episodes.
5 times. I'm sorry, how?
So back then, were you watching it on Sunday nights when it was on and all that?
Yes, I think I started in season 4.
Okay,
actually, the first one. This is awful. The first one that I remember watching was the episode that got banned. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, the really creepy one.
very creepy.
And I was like, I don't know what's going on here, but I kind of like it.
Yeah. Yes.
But then you stick around because honestly, it's their chemistry.
I mean, Gillian
It's
Anderson, they're
everything to
coming.
me.
Yes, it is. Their chemistry, literally the show, like I said, the last season and a half or so was interesting because they weren't on screen together as much.
And that was
so it was painful. But it's like,
them.
they're Gillian Anderson and David Covey just have this, and again, had it again. It's like, it's there. It's completely there.
Even in the new one, I'm like, I'm still doing that.
It's like, Gillian looked great too. It's like, you look great, girl.
My friends and I will sit there and watch them dialogue on Twitter, and we're like, did you see what they said to each other today? It's stupid. It's just stupid. I'm like, these are real people.
And apparently they paid Gillian some money too. That was almost equal to David.
Okay, I heard about that,
Yeah, I heard
but I
that.
wasn't sure how that ended up because obviously that woman is so amazing, and she just blows my mind every day. She does a lot for different causes.
Yes, she does.
She's like making. All everybody talks about is how much she's getting more beautiful as she gets older. She's
great.
so stunning.
She looks so beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
And she's so versatile as an actress. She does British roles. She does American. I mean, she works it out.
Which is the dream, to get to, like, as an American to, and I know she lived there for quite a long time, but to get to do that stuff was amazing.
Well, that's the thing about, and we're talking about you too, with the longevity thing, because you're around for a while. As an actor, I guess you want to be nomadic and play different roles, correct?
Yes.
You want to play as many as you can, right?
Yes.
And is there anything you haven't played that you want to play?
I want to play an archaeologist.
I can see you as one.
Because that's one of my other jobs I wanted to do.
Okay. And so why archaeology, the history part of it all?
Yes, I love it. I love the idea of finding things that, kind of prove where we came from. And I love the idea of connecting to people from the past. Like, that means everything to me.
Me too.
So
I always feel like I tell people that my ancestry is on my shoulders, but it's not heavy.
Oh.
I always say that.
Oh.
So that was what I came up with. Because I feel like that.
Beautiful.
Because I feel like I'm carrying everybody that came before me, and that's why I'm lucky to do what I'm doing now. Because of all their life and experience and work and history. That's why I'm here today, be on a TV show talking to you about them.
Oh my gosh, this just got...
I think I love deep. I know.
I got goosebumps. That is beautiful.
That's how I feel about that. So when you say archaeology, I like that because you want to dig into the past to learn more about your present and your future.
Yes, I do.
You do.
So much.
I can see you doing it too.
I would love to. I just think it's the absolute coolest thing.
So you're gonna watch it. You're gonna watch the new. I don't know. Did you watch any of Dan Brown's movie, the books and the movies? The new one's coming out.
I've seen everything.
The new one's coming out. Yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah. That's such an interesting plot line.
Yeah, I know. It's like that was fascinating. I read the book. I was like, well, now I want to do other stuff to figure out stuff. And like you said, get a whiteboard and start going crazy
with history. Oh my gosh,
I know.
There's so many all the unsolved things about history.
I know. There's so many things.
I love to just study all that.
So does any of that translate into your acting? Because you get to piece things together too when you do roles, right? You get to kind of piece things together and.
Well, I mean, certainly when you appreciate history, it's easy to want to create a backstory for somebody and to just kind of be able to do that because of things that you've read. I like to read a lot of historical fiction, and that informs a lot of any history I'm able to bring to a character. Especially if you know about different eras and you're playing somebody in a different era. I got to do a Western one time, and I just absolutely loved diving into that era, and there's so many things that I learned that I didn't know, and just sort of thinking about being a person kind of living out in the middle of nowhere in the Old West, and like what it took for you to get there, what makes a person leave comfort and everything they've known to go west. I'm very fascinated by that idea.
I do a show called One Cost a Heart. It's on Hallmark Channel. It's a really good show. It's on doing its fourth season. They're filming it. It's a great old-fashioned period piece that's in the Wild West, and it talks about where this Eastern American woman went to the Wild West to start her life over, and just what that means in the early 1900s. Like, what does that mean? Do you seeing is unknown? I mean, it's like, what do you? I mean, it's the language out here. There's a lot of Indians and things like that, and just a language barrier, and just like no one knew what was out there.
Yeah.
The traveling out there what made me nervous for her. Just like being in the stagecoach going out west.
And that's not comfortable. Let's be serious. There's no rubber on those tires.
I know.
There's no roads.
I know. And also, you're wearing a corset. You're a chick, so you're wearing a corset.
Yes, I am.
So like it can be comfortable. I mean, just I don't. It's to me, it's brave and fascinating, and I don't. So it's funny you say that. I agree with you. It's like, how does that even?
I'm so interested in that kind of story. I watched. It was like one of those Ken Burns like Lewis and Clark things.
Yeah.
And they were talking about getting past the tree line.
Oh my God.
And like being able to see for a long time. It's just like concepts like that. I'm just like, whoa. Things we take for granted.
I have no idea. We have no idea.
You know, we can think about space in those terms.
Yes.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Right. But probably none of us are ever going to go to. I mean,
who knows? I don't plan.
10
on
years,
going.
never mind. Probably will be going to space all the time. I just said one of those ignorant. Like,
yeah, I'm going to
We'll
Mars.
never go over 35 miles an hour in a car. Yeah, I just said one of those. We're never going to space. I'm not.
We'll be on the same space flight. Going,
Yes.
do you believe this is happening, girl?
Yes.
Like, yes.
Remember when I said?
Yeah, we're not going there. It's right, exactly. It's kind of funny. But no, I mean, I think it's one of those things that it's fascinating because we get to learn about our human spirit by going in the past and seeing kind of what they had to endure that we have just no clue on.
Yeah, and we can learn from it. Yeah. That's what's exciting to me.
So what does acting bring to you these days? What is it bringing to you?
It's just, for me, it's a lot about connection. You know, I love being able to connect with other people and tell stories that matter.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, whether you're doing comedy is great because hopefully you're bringing a smile to somebody's face. Yeah. And when you hit it, you know, when you finally get it, like the timing all right, it's just such a great feeling.
Yeah.
Making movies with my friends has been super rewarding because, you know, the connection's already there and then you just get to put that on film. Yeah. Or not film, whatever.
Whatever.
Digital.
Yes. We get it.
Yeah, and I just...
You enjoy it.
I enjoy it.
And that's the bottom line, I guess, enjoying what you do.
Yes.
I mean, people undervalue on that, and it's like if you don't like what you're doing and you're doing it just because, do something else. It's so serious. I used to do jobs I didn't like.
Oh yeah.
And I stopped that a long time ago.
Because here we are.
Yeah.
For how long?
For how long? Seriously, for how long? And it goes by fast.
Yes, it does. Indeed, it does.
It really does. So you should be doing what you enjoy, obviously.
Hopefully.
And it's like you're living it out. You're living the life.
Yeah, and it's hard, but it's just like the alternative of like getting up every day and having a comfortable life, but that's not really interesting doesn't work for me. Mm-hmm. And
same here. And it works for some people. And people in my life, they love it. They go to work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday in a cubicle. I'm
jealous of that.
I'm jealous of the vacation pay and the sick leave. I'm jealous of that.
Yes.
But I mean, for them, that is fine. They have their weekends off. They do their things. It works. And I'm just like, and you
and I are like masochistic somehow.
Yeah, we obviously. I'm like,
I need some pain in this day.
I like working on Sundays. Oh my God, it's crazy. I worked
for 16 hours.
Exactly. I worked for like 30 years to get Sundays off, and now I work on Sundays. And I do like 4 shows. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, it's like, but I love it. Obviously, I would never change it for the world. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're great.
You're great.
So you have to come back again. And if X-Files does come back,
we're having a show.
We're having a show.
We're doing a show. We are.
So tell people how does he put it on? Thank you, Zach, put it on. So while the theme is going in that camera, tell people where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Twitter at Venti Red.
That's like the coffee in Starbucks. Yes. Venti Red.
Or I think Ventired. Whatever works for you.
Ventired. And I don't trust anybody. I am James Lott Jr. and I'm on James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. You can find this interview on iTunes and YouTube under AfterBuzz TV, Spotlight On, Kristen Rakes. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.